This video is made for entertainment and educational purposes only. All photographs that are modern in nature are to help describe our story in the video. The photographs are used under the Fair Use Clause of the 1976 Copyright Act. Mahalida Collins Mullins, also known as Mrs. James Mullins, is one of the most infamous Appalachian outlaws in history. While there are several women that would rank among those known to be the villains of Appalachian history, Mullins stands out for her boldness. She was a moonshiner from Sneedville, Tennessee. Several people would come to her from all around to buy her different flavor of moonshine. So pull you up a tall one, grab yourself a handful of peanuts or a bucket of popcorn, and sit back as we take a look at the unusual life of Mahalida Mullins. Who was this dangerous lady known as Mahalia Big Haley Mullins? Born on March 30th, 1824 in Sneedville, located in Hancock County, Tennessee. She was the daughter of Solomon Dickinson Collins, Jr. and Virginia Jane Ginsey, also known as Jane Goins. They were Melungeons and were treated very poorly by the community of the time. During her life, she was also known by several names as Big Haley, Betsy, Mary, Haldia, and others. The Melungeon people are mysterious as to their origins. I and my husband are also of this lineage. Famous people who are also Melungeon is Abraham Lincoln, Elvis Presley, and Vanessa Williams, the famous singer and actress. In a future video, we will discuss the heritage of the Melungeon people and how the attitudes have changed over time. Mahalia was the wife of James "Old Jim" Mullins. Some sources name him as John Mullins. They would wed sometime in the year of 1840. Mahalia's husband was pretty famous in Sneedville area. It seems that he had been struck by lightning several times over his life and lived to tell about it. Several stories would say that this had to do with Old Jim and his relationship with the truth. Sources would say that prior to the lightning strikes that Old Jim was heard to mutter the phrase, quote, "If that is not the truth, then," unquote. Together, the Mullins couple would have several children. The sources ranged from 10 to 19 children, but the most common number seems to be 18. Rumors of Mullins' size. After the birth of her last child, Mullins developed elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is a disease caused by the bite of a mosquito. It causes a disability that includes extreme swelling and enlargement of different body parts. The pain the disease causes is severe, leaving the person unable to complete daily tasks. Before her illness incapacitated her, she dressed in fine dresses and conducted herself in a most regal way. There are sources that say that Mullins once wrestled and defeated 30 men in a wrestling match. After the match was over, she sold all of them moonshine. As her size began to grow, she eventually was unable to get through the door of her cabin. During the last years of her life, she was unable to get out of bed because of her size. Multiple arrests. Never a woman to let her disability get the best of her, Mullins devised a plan. She turned her cabin into a whiskey supermarket and sold top-quality moonshine. Mullins would act as purchasing agent and distributor. It is said that she used apples from a local orchard to flavor her moonshine, and that is what made it so popular. Mullins was caught having her moonshine supermarket several times. The police would come to arrest her, but found due to her size that the task of getting her out of the cabin was not doable. Even if they could get her outside of the cabin, it was nearly impossible to move her 3 miles down the ridge to the nearest road. Believe it or not, this disappointed Mullins, as she was a prisoner in her own cabin and could not get out to see the outside world. While she would be arrested several times in her life, she never appeared in court and was never convicted in a court of law. As one frustrated sheriff said, she was, quote, "catchable, but not fetchable," unquote. This became legendary among the people in the surrounding area, and she was often seen as a Robin Hood kind of character. Her passing. Mullins' health took a turn for the worst, as she was unable to get out of bed because of the elephantiasis. This left her vulnerable to other symptoms. She would die on September 10, 1898, at the age of 74 in Hancock County, Tennessee. According to the September 24, 1898, Peninsula Enterprise newspaper out of Virginia, Mrs. Mullins weighed in at 560 pounds at her death. Several other sources have the weight ranging from 400 to 700 pounds. According to the Peninsula Enterprise source, it was believed that she was poisoned by other moonshiners. However, it is commonly thought that she died due to complications of her long-term illness. Because of her size, the four-poster bed was boarded up and made into a makeshift coffin. A wall of the cabin was opened up, and she was dragged in her bed to her grave, which was in her backyard. Mullins' cabin and grave. Her cabin has been moved to a different location. The original location was on Newman's Ridge, and its current location is on Blackwater Road in Varley Valley. The Historical Society gained possession of the building in 2000. They moved the cabin and restored it for tourism. We at Kentucky Tennessee Living want to thank you for watching our video series on the Appalachian Outlaws. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we bring to you the history of the Appalachian Mountains.